So the question is, what is reading? What is dyslexia? This course is about reading, an extraordinary ability, peculiarly human, and yet distinctly unnatural. It is acquired in childhood, forms an intrinsic part of our existence as civilized beings, and is taken for granted by most of us. The unspoken belief is that if, as a child, you are sufficiently motivated and come from a home in which reading is valued, you will learn to read with ease. But as with so many other assumptions that appear to make intuitive sense, the assumption that reading comes naturally and easily to all children is simply not true. A substantial number of well-intentioned boys and girls, including very, very bright ones, experience significant difficulty in learning to read through no fault of their own. This frustrating and persistent problem in learning to read is called dyslexia. Most children look forward to learning to read, and in fact do so quickly. For dyslexic children, however, the experience is very different. For them, reading, which seems to come effortlessly for everyone else, appears to be beyond their grasp. These children, who understand the spoken word and may love to listen to stories, cannot decipher the same words when they are written on a page. Who is this course for? Are there new scientific discoveries that we can look to that will help us more effectively approach and treat dyslexic children and adults? This course is for parents, teachers, and children themselves, exhilarated by new scientific discoveries about reading and dyslexia, and frustrated by the relative lack of dissemination and practical application of these remarkable advances. We want to share with you all that we know about the science of reading. I want to make it very clear that it is now possible, with a high degree of accuracy, to screen for and then to identify children with dyslexia early on, and to treat and remediate their difficulties, helping them learn to read. We can also do more than ever before for teenagers, young adults, and older adults. What are the specific goals of this course? How do children become readers? What is the basic cognitive problem? Does knowing this improve the identification and care of those who are dyslexic? In this course, we want to bridge the enormous chasm that exists between the new and exciting research findings, in other words, what we are learning in the laboratory and what is being applied in the classroom. A goal of this course is to bring to you a new level of scientific understanding of dyslexia. Once you understand dyslexia, its symptoms and treatment will make sense to you. We want you to understand in a very clear and logical terms what dyslexia is, how to identify it, what causes it, and most critically, what can be done to help. What is so exciting about our new level of understanding of dyslexia is that it explains reading and reading difficulties at all ages and at all levels of education by identifying the primary or core cognitive weakness responsible for dyslexia. Scientists now understand how children acquire the ability to read and why some do not. As a result of these discoveries, it is now possible, 1, to screen for and to identify with an extremely high degree of precision the children who are at the highest risk for dyslexia, even in kindergarten, before they develop reading problems. 2, to screen for and to identify with an extremely high degree of precision the adolescents and adults at any age who are at highest risk for dyslexia. And 3, to diagnose dyslexia accurately in children, young adults, and adults. And 4, to manage the disorder with highly effective, evidence-based treatment programs. What can I expect in this course? How is it organized? In part 1 of this course, we will make clear what dyslexia is and how it evolves over time. I want to explain the cognitive basis for dyslexia, and then what the newest brain research is teaching us about the neurobiology of dyslexia and reading. I want to share with you the substantial progress in identifying the underlying neural mechanisms responsible for dyslexia and for reading. Basically, we now know where dyslexia lives in the brain, and we'll share this exciting new knowledge with you in a forthcoming talk. Parts 2 through 6 take what we have learned in the laboratory and apply it not only to the classroom, across development, from primary school through college and beyond to adulthood, but also to the child's life and future. I will talk about the impact of 21st century groundbreaking science on how we approach, diagnose, and treat children and adults with dyslexia. To ensure that this knowledge is used wisely, I will also discuss practical issues of special concern to many of you, including early diagnosis, as well as diagnosis in older children and adults, special considerations in the diagnosis of bright young adults, the most effective treatment for children, young adults, and adults, the relation between dyslexia and standardized tests, the relation between dyslexia, anxiety, and attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD, accommodations for older children, and what dyslexia does and does not mean in terms of choosing a school, a college, and a career. So you wonder, how can I find out more about dyslexia? I am often asked, where can I read about what you just said? Where can I get this information? Do you have a book to recommend? All this information that you will be hearing today and throughout this course can be found in Overcoming Dyslexia, 2nd edition, by Sally Shaywitz, MD, and Jonathan Shaywitz, MD, published by Knopf Vintage Penguin, Random House in 2020. The book is available on Amazon as both a hardcover and paperback, and as an audiobook read by me.
I'm a high school senior and a student with dyslexia.
I'm lucky to be Rafe's mom.
I found out that I had dyslexia when I was in 3rd grade. I was really self-conscious about myself. I really looked at myself and didn't think I was smart and thought that I didn't succeed and thought that everyone around me was smarter than me. And I felt like I wasn't going to be able to succeed. And the big thing was, one of the only people I really wanted to talk to was my mom, because I felt like my mom was the only person that could understand me. At first, my thoughts were a bit of confusion because I didn't really understand what dyslexia was. But I think that knowing that this was something that I can get better at and something that I can get better at my reading made me feel like anything was possible. As I've grown older, I think that dyslexia has really been a gift. I think that it's taught me how to learn from failure and embrace failure in order to get better. but it's also taught me the importance of being a nonlinear thinker and realizing that the advantages of the thinker I am. And I think that looking back on my time with dyslexia, I think that it's been very positive and has made me the person that I am, despite having dyslexia never being easy.